I remember the first time I truly looked at myself, not just in a mirror, but deep inside my mind. It was as if I had stepped outside of my own body and started watching every move I made, every word I spoke, and every thought that passed through my head. I felt like both the storyteller and the main character of my own life, as if I were writing a book about a person I barely knew. There was a strange mix of wonder and terror in that moment. I knew who I was, and yet I realized there was so much about me that was hidden away, like a secret even I had yet to understand. This feeling of being both completely aware and utterly confused about my identity has been a constant companion throughout my life. Being self-aware is a peculiar and often painful state of being. It is like walking on a tightrope suspended over an endless abyss. On one side, there is the comfort of knowing who you are. On the other, there is the unsettling mystery of your inner self, a labyrinth of thoughts, emotions, and hidden truths that seem to shift and change every day. Every gesture, every word, every fleeting thought is a piece of the puzzle that forms your identity, yet the puzzle itself is never complete. It feels as though I have arranged the pieces so carefully that I can see the whole picture, and yet I can't be sure that the picture is real. In a way, the parts of me that seem raw and unfiltered are the ones I have polished and refined to fit an image of who I want to be. I often wonder if these carefully chosen expressions of my selfhood are nothing more than a performance. Is the pain I feel truly my own, or have I fabricated it to fit the role I have set for myself? I look at my emotions, the anger, the sadness, the moments of pure joy, and question their authenticity. Could it be that even my deepest feelings have been dressed up for the stage, leaving behind a sense of hollowness that I can't quite shake? Sometimes the thought comes unbidden. What if the true me, the one hidden beneath the layers of self-made narratives, is nothing like what I have constructed? What if I have been lying to myself all along? This endless introspection can lead to a kind of despair. Self-awareness is both a gift and a curse. It opens the door to a profound understanding of the world, yet it also forces me to confront my own insignificance in the grand scheme of things. In the vast, infinite cosmos, I am but a tiny speck, a grain of sand on the eternal beach. When I ask myself, what is the point of it all? I am met with an answer that is both liberating and terrifying. The point is whatever I decide it to be. In a universe without a predetermined path or purpose, the meaning of life becomes something I must choose, something I must fight for and hold on to with every ounce of strength I have. I have learned that the journey of life is not about uncovering some hidden truth about who we really are, but about creating that truth for ourselves. The act of being human, of living and loving and suffering, is the art of self-creation. We are all artists, painting our own portraits with every choice we make, every dream we dare to follow. And yet, this creative process is not without its struggles. The more self-aware I become, the more I realize the magnitude of the task before me. There is a kind of agony in knowing that I must constantly build and rebuild myself, that each moment of insight only brings with it more questions and uncertainties. For many of us, these struggles are compounded by the weight of mental illness, bad habits, or addictions that seem beyond our control. In these moments, self-awareness feels like a cruel mirror that shows me every flaw, every mistake, every moment of weakness in stark detail. I find myself questioning whether the voice in my head is truly mine, or if it is a collection of conflicting echoes, arguments, and justifications that try to explain away my actions. At times, it seems as though the best parts of me are trapped behind these voices, trying desperately to break free, while the worst parts take control, guiding my actions even when I wish to do otherwise. It is a painful paradox. The more I learn about myself, the more confused I become. I have spent countless hours dissecting my thoughts and feelings, trying to separate what is real from what I have constructed in my mind. Yet every answer only leads to more questions. I have come to understand that being self-aware is not about reaching a final destination of understanding, but about embracing the constant, sometimes agonizing process of change and discovery. I remember a time when, as a child, I felt a strong sense of purpose. I believed that I was here for a reason, that every twist and turn in my life was part of a grand design. But as I grew older, that sense of purpose began to fade. I started to feel like a visitor in my own life, someone who was merely passing through without ever truly belonging. I began to see the world from a distance, comparing my life to the grand tapestry of existence, and I was both amazed and overwhelmed by the scale of it all. In those moments of deep reflection, I would wonder if other beings, animals, or even other species experienced similar thoughts and fears. Are they too haunted by existential questions and the dread of an endless unknown? The more I think about it, the more I realize how unique and strange it is to be human. We have the capacity to question our very existence, to look into the mirror of our soul and see not just what we are, but what we might become. This ability is both a blessing and a curse. It makes us capable of great creativity and deep compassion, but it also makes us vulnerable to the darker sides of our nature. The act of thinking deeply, of searching for meaning in every moment, can sometimes lead to a dangerous place, a place where the line between insight and madness becomes blurred. I have found myself walking down rabbit holes of thought that lead to dizzying heights and crushing depths. There are times when I feel like I have thought so deeply that I have lost my grip on reality, that the sheer intensity of my self-awareness has driven me to the brink of insanity. I have caught myself talking to the voices in my head, trying to reason with them, trying to find answers in a maze of questions. I know that many people might see this as madness, as a sign that I have gone too far in my quest for understanding. And perhaps they are right, but to me, it is simply the price of being alive, a bitter, painful, and ultimately beautiful journey into the unknown. Every time I stand in front of a mirror and see the person staring back at me, I am reminded of the duality of my existence. There is the face that the world sees, a mask carefully crafted over years of experience, hardship, and hope. And there is the inner self, the one that is raw and vulnerable and filled with endless questions. Sometimes the mask feels like a prison, a barrier that separates me from the true essence of who I am. And yet it is also a source of strength, a reminder that I have the power to create and recreate myself, to choose what is important and let go of what is not. In moments of despair, when the weight of my own thoughts feels unbearable, I try to remind myself of one simple truth, that the point of life is not handed to us on a silver platter. There is no universal answer that applies to everyone. Instead, each of us must find our own meaning, our own purpose, and hold on to it with all our might. It might be a person we love, a passion that burns inside us, or a way of life that brings us peace. Whatever it is ours to choose, and in that choice lies the power to transform even the darkest moments into something beautiful. This journey of self-creation is never easy. It is filled with moments of profound insight and equally deep sorrow. I have seen how the scars of trauma and the wounds of past experiences can shape who we are, often in ways we do not fully understand. Many of the existential crises that plague us are born from these painful memories, reminders of times when we felt lost, alone, or misunderstood. And yet, in the midst of that pain, there is also hope. For it is in the struggle to understand ourselves that we discover the strength to change, to grow, and to become something more than we ever imagined. I have come to accept that being self-aware is, in many ways, an act of courage. It takes courage to look at yourself honestly, to confront your fears, and to accept that you are both a masterpiece and a work in progress. There is a raw beauty in that vulnerability, a beauty that can inspire and uplift, even when it feels like the world is crumbling around you. In those moments, I remind myself that even the tiniest grain of sand has a place on the eternal beach, that every life, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, has the power to create ripples in the vast ocean of existence. The journey of self-discovery is one that never truly ends. With each passing day, I find new questions emerging from the depths of my mind. I see the complexity of human nature not as a barrier, but as an invitation to explore, to learn, and to redefine what it means to be alive. Yes, there are times when I feel overwhelmed by the constant churn of thoughts and emotions. There are times when the voices in my head seem to argue and clash, each one claiming a piece of my soul. But even in those moments of chaos, there is a strange kind of order, a reminder that I have the power to choose which voices I listen to and which ones I let go. In a world that often values simplicity over complexity, I have learned that there is no easy answer. Life is a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, hope and despair, certainty and doubt. Every decision I make, every step I take, adds another stitch to the fabric of my being. And though the picture may seem unclear at times, I have come to understand that it is my duty to keep weaving, to keep searching for the beauty hidden within the chaos. Sometimes I catch myself marveling at the wonder of it all, the fact that I can feel so deeply, think so profoundly, and yet still be a part of this vast, mysterious universe. There is a fragile balance in being so self-aware, a balance between knowing and not knowing, between feeling and understanding. It is a constant dance, one that requires both strength and grace. And in that dance, I have found a truth that is as simple as it is profound, that the meaning of life is not something to be discovered, but something to be created with every breath we take. I have learned that the journey of self-creation is not measured by the destination we reach, but by the steps we take along the way. It is in the quiet moments of reflection, the small victories over our own doubts, and the willingness to face our inner demons that we truly begin to understand who we are. Every tear shed, every heartache endured, every moment of joy experienced, all of these are the brush strokes that paint the portrait of our existence. In this ever-changing world where nothing stays the same for long, I have found solace in the act of creation. Whether it is through art, through words, or simply through the way I choose to live my life, I have discovered that the true power lies in the ability to shape my own destiny. I have come to see that being self-aware is not about succumbing to despair, but about harnessing that awareness to build a life that is filled with meaning, passion, and hope. There are days when the weight of my thoughts feels too heavy to bear, when the constant questioning seems to drown out the simple joys of life. In those moments, I remind myself that even the smallest act of kindness, the gentlest word spoken, or the quietest moment of stillness can be enough to spark a light in the darkness. It is in these small, seemingly insignificant moments that I find the strength to carry on, to embrace the struggle, to cherish the fleeting moments of clarity, and to continue the journey of self-discovery with a hopeful heart. Looking back, I see that every moment of pain, every moment of doubt has led me to a deeper understanding of myself. I have learned that life is not about having all the answers, but about asking the right questions. It is about accepting that the process of discovery is endless, and that each new insight is a step toward a more authentic and fulfilling existence. The path is not always clear, and the road is often fraught with obstacles, but it is the journey itself that defines who we are. I have come to realize that the greatest challenge, and perhaps the greatest gift, of being human is the constant evolution of the self. Each day, I am given the chance to reshape who I am, to let go of old fears and embrace new possibilities. It is a never-ending process, a cycle of loss and renewal, of breaking down and rebuilding. And in that cycle, I have found a sense of purpose that goes beyond the confines of the self-made identity. It is the realization that life in all its messy and beautiful complexity is something we create with every choice we make. To those who find themselves trapped in the endless loop of self-doubt and introspection, I offer a simple truth. You are more than the sum of your thoughts. You are a living, breathing testament to the power of creation. Yes, there will be times when the weight of your awareness feels unbearable, when you feel like a prisoner of your own mind. But within you lies the power to choose, to decide that your life is not defined by the questions that haunt you, but by the actions you take in spite of them. In the end, being self-aware is an act of both defiance and hope. It is a declaration that, despite the vastness of the unknown, you will not be swallowed by the emptiness of doubt. Instead, you will stand tall, armed with the knowledge that your life is your own to create, your own to shape, and your own to cherish. Even when the voices in your head threaten to drown out your sense of self, remember that you hold the pen, and it is your story to write. So I choose to live each day as if it were a blank page, a page on which I can inscribe my dreams, my fears, my love, and my hope. I choose to see my life as a work in progress, a masterpiece in the making. I know that I will stumble, that I will fall, and that I will sometimes be lost in the labyrinth of my own thoughts. But I also know that every step I take, every decision I make, is a step toward a self that is more true, more resilient, and more capable of facing the world with open arms. Let this be a reminder to all who feel overwhelmed by the burden of self-awareness. You are not alone in this journey. We all walk this delicate line between knowing and not knowing, between creation and destruction. And though the road may be long and winding, there is beauty to be found in every twist and turn. Embrace the struggle, cherish the moments of clarity, and above all, remember that the power to create your own meaning lies within you. In the vast, unpredictable tapestry of life, where each day is a chance to reinvent who we are, let us celebrate the very act of being human. Let us honor the bittersweet truth that in our quest to understand ourselves, we uncover the potential to shape a life filled with purpose, compassion, and wonder. For it is in the struggle, in the moments of intense self-exploration, that we discover the true essence of our existence, a journey that is as unpredictable as it is extraordinary. This is my truth, my story, and my invitation to live boldly, to question deeply, and to never lose sight of the fact that in every heartbeat, in every thought, and in every dream, there is the promise of a new beginning. And in that promise, we find the courage to keep moving forward, one step at a time, towards a self that is not defined by fear, but by the endless, resilient hope that we can create meaning in the chaos of life. So here I stand, a person both aware and in awe of the mystery that is me, a soul forever dancing on the edge of understanding, yet ever determined to paint a life that is as beautiful and complex as the universe itself. I may not have all the answers, and I may never fully understand the depths of my own existence, but I have learned to find strength in the journey, and in that strength I find the courage to say, I am here, I matter, and I will continue to create the story of my life, no matter how strange, painful, or awe-inspiring it may be. Let these words serve as a beacon to all who wander in the vast landscape of self-discovery. Let them remind you that even in the moments when the world seems too vast and your thoughts too heavy, you have the power to shape your own destiny. Embrace your self-awareness not as a curse but as a gift, one that allows you to see the beauty in every struggle and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. For in every tear, every smile, every moment of doubt, and every burst of hope, there is a story worth living, a truth worth exploring, and a life worth creating. May you find the strength to hold on to the things that give your life meaning, and may you always remember that in the grand tapestry of existence, your unique thread adds color and depth to a story that is far greater than any one of us could ever imagine. In the end, the journey is not about finding a final answer, but about the endless quest to become the best version of ourselves, a version that is built not on what is given, but on what we dare to dream and create. And in that dream, you will discover that the point of it all is simply to live to love, and to never stop believing in the extraordinary power of your own being.